What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to break down that article that just came out saying that 6 high-level executives did get laid off or fired from Lucid. I'm going to be talking about that, what that means for Lucid, its investors, and the bigger picture overall. So I'm going to get into all of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. And so getting right to it though, this is the article from the Insider. Lucid has lost 6 high-level manufacturing execs over the last few weeks as it struggles to ramp up production. So in general, I've been really covering this, and I think this is one of the touchy subjects is their production. And I just wanted to say, hypothetically, this isn't that bad of a thing. It's fairly good, no different than in your own personal lives. If things go wrong or is going wrong, what do? You fix them. No different than here. If there is something going wrong, then you typically look at how it's being run. And if that isn't in line with the expectations, then unfortunately the executive or the higher up does typically get axed. So that's my own 2 cents. Keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But when it comes down to this article, it's a little bit more mixed. Obviously, I think there's a lot of FUD that's been going around with Lucid more recently about the shelf offering and so forth, but this doesn't help. And unfortunately, this does portray Lucid as just not functioning fairly well. So that's my interpretation of this. Obviously, that might not necessarily be the case, but this is where a lot of bears are hypothetically taking it. And so in this article, though, it does talk on the 6 people that did leave. So you can see the VP of Global Manufacturing, Peter 𝗖𝗧𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, whatever that is. If I'm saying that correctly, my apologies. VP of Programs, Ralph Jacobs. Head of Arizona Operations, Mike Boyke. Head of New Product Introduction Program Management, David Peel. Senior Manager, Logistics Engineer, Chris Barber. Director of Operations Excellence, Keith Champion. So in general, though, based on everything that is said in this article, it does seem to be fairly accurate. And ultimately, just looking on Lucid's website to match and coincide with everything that's being said, it does seem to be accurate. So although they refer to LinkedIn quite often, so you can even see right here, Mike Boyke is still listed under Lucid as being working for Lucid, but based on the actual website for Lucid, unfortunately, he is no longer there. So this is where there is a little bit of credibility for this article, because typically whenever there's an article that comes out, I like to check, at least fact check some of it to see if it is very logical and everything is correct in there. Obviously, you have to do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So when it comes down to it, I was looking, it does seem fairly accurate. So Mike Boyke is still showing as working for Lucid, but unfortunately not on their website. It does look like David Peel did move over to Nikola, so that's one thing that you just need to factor in. Chris Barber still showing as Lucid, and then also Keith Champion is still showing as Lucid as director at Lucid Motors. So in general, it is what it is. One thing as well I just wanted to say is Peter is still on their actual website. So this is where it's a little bit more of a hit and miss. And my problem with this article is at the very bottom, it does say, are you a current or former Lucid employee? Do you have any news tips or opinions that you'd like to share? When I read that, it just makes this whole article just come off as more of a TMZ kind of scenario. So it's not really credible if you ask me. So like I said, I think there's just a lot of FUD that's circling around all of this, which in general though, it's fairly normal. Obviously 6 in the short time frame is pretty substantial, but given the circumstances and the high expectation of investors just wanting production, I think it is fairly normal and expected. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But one thing I just wanted to bounce off of you guys, it's one thing that a lot of VPs get axed if something bad is happening. But at what stage do you think Peter 𝗖𝗧𝗡𝗖𝗧 is going to be now the next one getting axed? Because obviously CEOs do get taken down quite often, especially if something is not performing. Again, it's one of those things, I know there's a huge high anticipation and a lot of people think that Lucid does revolve solely around Peter 𝗖𝗧𝗡𝗖𝗧. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, because I know that's one of the things that people started to bounce off of on stock twits, saying that Peter 𝗖𝗖𝗡𝗖𝗧𝗏 is next. Obviously, that's just bears talking, but it doesn't lead you to jump to conclusions and make you think about things. At what stage do you think Peter will actually get taken down? But I think there is actually a lot of good things. I was reading through a lot of these individuals, some of which it does seem nothing really particularly outstanding on a lot of them. I think that they have hired a lot of new VPs recently that far exceeds a lot of the experience here. And more recently as well, they hired Derek Carty. I keep bringing him up because he is a very big vet from Apple. And I think this is is kind of leading into that whole Apple rumor as well. He does bring a hell of a lot of experience, and I think we all know, based on Apple's phone, or whether you have a phone, Apple iPad, or whatever it is, whatever floats your boat, I think the customer experience, they've really mastered that. So I think Lucid can really benefit from that. So I think 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗪𝗓 is going to be a very big attribute to Lucid. And I've been bringing this up over the last couple of videos because I think that's one of those things that Lucid can get to that next level. Obviously, production is definitely going to be and needs to be a priority, but customer experience can also benefit as well at the same time. So overall, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. I think there is a very good team as long as they do not get rid of 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪. Because without 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪 doing those actual conference calls, I think honestly I most likely would fall asleep, because as good as information that they provide and as interesting as it is, 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪 has definitely stepped in when there's been a lot of tough questions from analysts. She steps in and answers it perfectly. So I think behind the scenes, and based on, obviously it's very transparent as far as what they get paid, 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧 does not get paid nearly as much as what she should. So that's my own 2 cents on that. Definitely hats off to you, Sherry, Peter, the whole management team. I think in general, we are going to see a little bit more movement from VPs in the coming years as Lucid tries to establish itself and find its right niche on how it likes to be ran and by whom. So with that, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. And if you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. And one thing as well, I just wanted to say, every time I say an article or a video on possibly a negative topic, I get a lot of people saying that, did I sell or am I shorting Lucid? Answer is no. I like to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes the ugly sucks, I always say that, but I will definitely let you know if I am selling or if I'm shorting Lucid. You'll be the first to know, and probably you'll actually just be able to tell by me not doing any Lucid videos. That's probably going to be the most very logical thing. So with all that, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.